Right.
Not alone in being tired.
Welcome to the Why Miles Teller is the greatest actor ever. That's bullshit. This is Defenders, the Netflix series of everything we're getting, I guess. So I'll start off, let's introduce the panel. We'll start to my right and go that way, and tell them who you are.
My name is Hunsaker. I'm the host of the Daredevil podcast. I'm a writer at nerddomepodcast.com.
I'm David Powers King, science fiction and fantasy author. Fantasy, science fiction. And I'm also a movie reviewer on Cinematic Universe Ultimate on YouTube. And a major Netflix file.
James Ganiere, writer, producer, Rio Vista Universal, Emmy Judge, and we've got a series that just aired here, Nobilities. That's Firefly meets The Office with a Star Trek twist.
I actually liked Daredevil season 2. I think, to be fair, I think season 1 was probably a better story and a better run of Daredevil, but I enjoyed season 2 of Daredevil more because I felt like I got more Daredevil. Because it was more of a Daredevil story, and especially the scene where he is fighting a whole bunch of mobsters, rescuing Frank Castle, and still trying to stop Frank Castle from killing everybody in the room was my favorite moment of all the Netflix series so far.
My favorite is definitely Jessica Jones. I have talked to so many people who aren't even into superhero series, and they watched Jessica Jones, and they were just like, holy crap, that is... They just went there with that series. They didn't pull their punches. I thought for sure they wouldn't ever use the R word. I didn't for a minute think that she would actually say, "You raped me." And the fact that they came out and said that, I respect to them forever. Yep.
It's really hard. It's really kind of a toss-up of the two, but I tell you, Daredevil, season 1, they really took the time to show the origin of both. And the funny thing is, my son, 7, who just turned 8, is like, when's he gonna get his costume? When's he gonna get his costume? And I was like, dude, this costume's awesome! And it's like so authentic and real. to see him winded in a fight. You know, it's
Yeah, how he's still cut like 3 episodes later.
yes.
Still cut across the line.
I mean, they really took it to where it's dark, it's gritty, it's real. You can identify with it. And then the same thing with Jessica Jones. I mean, just how tortured she is with everything going on, you feel it. And so both of them just really speak to me, so I can't wait to see Luke Cage on the 30th.
As much as I absolutely love them both, I'm going to have to side a little towards Jessica Jones on this one. Because, well, and for one thing, coming into the show, I actually will admit I did not know a single thing about Jessica Jones. And I think because of that, I was genuinely surprised and absolutely just fell in love with it from the beginning. And when we're introduced to Kilgrave for the very first time, I cannot imagine a more horrific scene. Even though no one dies and there's no blood or anything really horrible going on, but wow. Man enters the room and just completely takes over a family's life. And they're okay with it because their will is gone. Even though they have these complex looks on their faces, like, I don't really understand why I'm doing this for this guy, but it's okay, we're gonna smile and do it anyway. And I mean, come on. Children should be not seen and not heard. How cool is that?
I have a tie. I'm going to do it because I'm moderating. I can do that. The first one is Daredevil season 2 and it's a particular episode is the rooftop episode, which is where John Bernthal, and thank God we finally got a good Punisher, because Dolph Lundgren naked in the sewers isn't kicking it. But the whole why do you think you're better than me speech is so perfect. It's so right on. And I loved it. The other though, I'm glad you mentioned Kilgrave, because I think Kilgrave is not only the greatest villain in the Netflix series, I think he's the greatest villain of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
Because, and you mentioned the kid thing, and someone mentioned it, told me when he goes, are those kids still in that closet? Like, did he kill 2 children? And I think he did, so.
And he doesn't know and he doesn't care.
No, he does not care. Yeah, he's a dick.
Okay, for me, I am a huge Daredevil fan. And like, I enjoyed the Affleck movie. Like, that's
The director's cut, right? The director's cut was much fun.
So in season 1, it was after the amazing hallway fight scene when he goes up to the little kid that he's saving and he takes off his mask and he picks him up and he says, "It's okay, you don't have to be afraid anymore," and he takes him out of there. That to me is Daredevil and why I love him so much, and that they got it right. And so both seasons of Daredevil.
Woo! So like I said, we've got Luke Cage is in a couple weeks. We've got Iron Fist is next year. That's spring of next year, I think.
Yeah, I think the way I'm reading it, because there was that article that came out a couple of weeks ago where everyone was like, "Oh my God, we're not getting any more Daredevil or Jessica Jones until this time." I was like, okay, let's calm down for a minute and think about this. I was like, we've already got Iron Fist confirmed, and that's coming out before the Defenders, so that's obviously spring of 2018. Defenders will be next. Defenders will be fall of 2017. Excuse me. And then they've already announced that Jessica Jones and Defenders are filming back to back. So obviously, Jessica Jones season 2 is going to be our fall or spring 2018 series. So I was like, okay, here we go. We're good.
And then they just announced Daredevil season 3, which will follow that as well.
Well, either that or it's going to be the Punisher series. We're not sure what's going to be the fall 2018.
Has everybody seen the Iron Fist little teaser that's 30 seconds long? God, it gave me chills. And it was like 30 seconds, and I'm like, damn you, Marvel. So with those coming up, what are you most looking forward to the programs that are coming up and why?
Let's start with me again.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll just stand up and So my introduction to Iron Fist was like Marvel team up. I can't remember the number, sorry, but it was John Byrne, Chris Claremont, and Marvel teamed with Spider-Man, and it was like after his book had been canceled, and they had to finish the story somewhere, so they did it in Spider-Man Marvel Team Up. But it was with the image of Davos grabbing him and pressing him to his chest and taking the Iron Fist from him is like ingrained in my whatever 8-year-old brain it was, and I can't. It was so violent and so rapey that it stuck in my head, and like I started following Power Man and Iron Fist all through my teens, and I loved it. So I'm a huge Iron Fist fan. So there's like no way I mean, I'm looking forward to both because of Power Man and Iron Fist, but like Iron Fist for me.
I'm going to go with the big one. I'm really excited for the Defenders when they bring everybody together. No. What more is there? I mean, how awesome is that? We finally get to see Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist all fighting side by side. And hopefully there are subsequent characters that are in there, so hopefully we get a Punisher and a Misty Knight, and all of them who kind of come in together too. It'd be awesome.
My answer is going to be whichever one is coming out next.
Thank you. That's a good answer.
I was very fortunate enough that I got to go to San Diego Comic-Con this year, and I did get into the Marvel Netflix panel by the sheer luck of the Ballroom 20 people being very, very nice. And there was the scene in the Luke Cage trailer where Cottonmouth, I believe his name is standing behind the Big E picture with the crown, and he says, "Everyone wants to be the king." They showed us that entire clip, and it is cinematography, like, it's so gorgeous, and that series looks so, so good. But whichever one's coming out next, that's the one I'm excited for.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Whichever one next, it's like, I'll watch it. Definitely looking forward to the Defenders. I'm wondering how many they can actually afford and pack into each episode.
Netflix pays a lot.
Yes and
But
no.
isn't it confirmed as a miniseries?
So here's the deal with. Can I derail? All right. Cool. So I'm gonna derail a minute. So I'm talking with the showrunner of Daredevil, and he's like, I got a boatload of money up front. But he goes, when I figured it out, I'm making nothing compared to what I made for working for the networks and studios because I get 0 residuals. So I get front loaded, and he's like, man, I'm getting less than half. And I'm like, ouch. I was like, so I'm hoping.
But their budgets are big.
Marco
Polo was like 90 million for 10 episodes.
Yeah, so they did really, like House of Cards, they were like really high, they made a huge splash, and then they've been dialing back on the cost, because it's not sustainable.
Unsustainable, right.
No, it's not sustainable. So I'm like, I'm hoping they don't screw it up. They keep on pulling in great talent, because what they've got is just phenomenal. It just beats out everybody else. Sorry, did I answer the question?
Sure. Just say Defenders.
Defenders.
All of it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, all of it. As soon as I can. As soon as the season is available, I'm probably going to consume it in a couple days. I'll probably take off work and watch it all.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what Luke does.
That's the grown-up responsible thing to do.
It's a nice thing when you work for yourself, you just take the day off.
For me, it's Luke Cage, in the sense that I love diversification and what the MCU is doing. Like, I'm so excited for Captain Marvel, and that one, and then Black Panther. But I just love that it's it sounds obviously racist, but it's not just white guys just hanging out. It's like there's different people in this world, And so with Luke Cage, we got Jessica Jones, that was great. So we got the Netflix, female action hero, but then we'll get Captain Marvel in the cinema. But yeah, mine's Luke Cage. I'm excited for it. He's good looking.
There's gonna be no crime left in Harlem.
What would you be like? Let's go to Hell's Kitchen. No. Have you seen what's over there?
I'm bulletproof.
So for me, it's Iron Fist because you see like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, it's accidents and experiments, how they got their abilities and powers. Like Iron Fist punches out the heart of an immortal dragon, and I want to see how they're gonna do that. Make it make sense with the rest of what's going on.
You mentioned having the ability to watch watch the movie one day, take the day off kind of thing. That was, I'm kind of glad you brought that up because that's my next thing. We live in a world where, now Netflix releases them all at once. Or there's
Hallelujah.
right? And then there's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that's like every week. And then there's the movies. Which do you prefer? In the sense of which way do you like to watch it?
I can't imagine if I had to wait a week to watch the next Stranger Things episode. You know what I'm saying? When you're into something like that, you're like, okay, there goes my Saturday, but I'm sorry, that's awesome, So, and you forget, like, from week to week, okay, what was going on again? Oh yeah, okay, all right, I'm back into it again. But if you can binge watch it, I'm the binge watcher side, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of go both ways on both sets of television series. I prefer television to movies in general because I like longer forms of storytelling. But yes, there is something to be said about binge watching, especially because you can recognize the small things like, hey, his cut is still on his eye that was 3 episodes ago. I mean, you can notice those things when you don't really remember that in a week to week. But the problem I have with the binge watching is I get through 12 episodes in one day and then I have to wait 6 months for the next one. Whereas in a week by week, you kind of take it in smaller doses and it kind of gives you something to look forward to. So I don't know, for me it's a toss-up.
So you need something to, withdrawal symptoms,
Yeah, that's why you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in between the Netflix series.
I don't know. I love it all. I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still not quite 100% there yet. It still feels like it's missing something.
Named characters.
Well, I don't know.
I know, we're getting a few, but.
I don't know. I'm still not 100% on board for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I like my big, I like my Civil War and my big, blockbuster movies. But at the same time, I'm a writer. I love long form storytelling, and I love what they're able to do on Netflix when it comes to developing the characters. So it's just, I couldn't pick all of it. I love it all.
Definitely binge watching for me. Absolutely. I work, and then I've got a slice of time after deadlines and everything, and it's like, binge. And then I was like, okay, now I'm ready to work again. And just go at it. Movies are great. It's kind of like cotton candy. You can only consume too much. It's not a lot of plot to it. Whereas the long form, it really gets into it, and it satisfies that need for really rich story.
Took the words right out of my mouth because I was about to say that the thing that I'm starting to notice and observing with the streaming and your ability to binge versus shows that you have to wait a week for versus the movies is that we get a little bit of slice here and there of everything. When there's not a show to binge, we can watch the week by week. And if we gotta wait for one of those, there's a movie that's gonna be coming out. So, and they all seem, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they all seem to be interconnected. And that is really cool how they're playing that all out. And for me, when I, like you, sit down to binge something, I get a wonderful opportunity to really get to know these characters. Because when I watch the films, as awesome as they are, as big as the heroes are, they have a lot of things to do, and I don't get to know them quite as well. And so what I think that Marvel and Netflix is doing is great in the sense that these smaller characters that I've never heard of before, I am beginning to care about them more than the Avengers.
I'm right on page with you because for me, with binge watching, at least the way it's set up, and I think the Russo brothers actually addressed this, was, like I said earlier, Kilgrave I think was the greatest villain, but they had a 13-hour movie to develop him as one of the greatest villains, whereas the cinematic universe and the movies, they've got, 2.5, 3 if they're going long.
And then he'd be dead at the end.
Well,
And then you'd be like,
I still think, though, I'm blanking on his name. Who's the villain in Civil War? The one who set it all up? Zemo. Like, I still think, even though I like Kilgrave more, I do like Zemo in the sense because he won. Because, you know what I mean? Like, he's sitting in this box, and then he's like, oh, you got caught. And he's like, yeah, but I broke him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's fantastic. But I think with the Netflix, way it's set up, I like it because there's just more development. But I do kind of miss the anticipation of waiting a week to, but it's like, do I want my crack now?